Greetings, Glitter Gang. It's Thursday, July 23rd. It's 2 p.m. and we are gonna party. We're gonna party. Let me just make one change to the microphone here so that it's stereo instead of mono. So if you're listening on headphones, I won't be talking in just one ear like a creep. Today we're going to be working on what are we calling this? I came up with a name. Oh, the Pouch-a-lope. The Pouch-a-lope album. Okay. So today we're going to be working on the Pouch-a-lope album. Where we left off, we had done most of the construction. And we were at the point where in order to finish the construction, we'd have to start incorporating decorating. So from now on, it's going to be decorating alternating with construction. But just so far, what we've done is we've created 12 of these Pouch-a-lopes, so named because they have a pouch on the front and an envelope on the back. So to finish the envelope's construction, we are going to have to do some decorating because we are going to use a button and string closure. And I think I'm going to do the large buttons like we did in some other album that we did. I also have printed a bunch of photo mats in a dark brown so that we can hopefully quickly add photo mats. I think we're going to need more than this, quite honestly, but this will be a good start at any rate. Okay, so I think the first thing that I want to do is I want to flip through the paper and pick the 12 things that we're going to use to line, the 12 designs that we're going to use to line the Pouch-a-lopes. And to line the Pouch-a-lopes, we need 6 1/4, well, not, it's 8 5/8 inch wide by 6 1/4 inch long paper. But what we're going to do, I think, is we're going to do 6 inches. We're going to make it just a little bit smaller so that hopefully we'll still get a full lining, but we can get 2 out of 1 sheet. So I'm hoping that'll be just fine. And then on the back, so we'll do that first. We'll pick our 12 designs. That way we can maybe get them out of 6 sheets by cutting them in half instead of 6 1/4. So that's where we'll start. So that's what we're going to be doing right now. All right. And also I took the pieces that I cut out of the centers of these and I cut them down to 6 1/2 by 4 1/2. And I'm going to stick a 6 1/4 by 4 1/4 mat on the front and back of each one. So each one of these will have at least one insert that is that. So that's a good start. So, all right, let's find some paper. I'm using Merry and Bright by Paper Phenomenon. I believe that this paper is still available physically. If it is not, it's definitely available digitally. There is a digital collection of this. I do have the digital collection now, so we can revisit the box. When it's time to do the box's construction, we can think about if we want to repeat some patterns or whatever. However, I did set papers aside to do the box, but we can dip into these if we want to dip into these. And the cardstock, colors, paper, all of that is listed in the video description below if you're watching live, or if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching in the archives, then you can find it on YouTube as well. But it's Merry and Bright by Paper Phenomenon. And it's COLORMATES Smooth and Silky in red and cocoa. Okay. Oh, natural red and cocoa and fresh malt. With natural's the dark. Natural is this color. This is red. This is cocoa, and fresh malt is KRAFT. And I don't know why I have it written down because I don't think I'm going to use it, but whatever. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip through and I'm going to think what would be fun to line. This is one that would definitely be fun to line. Because it has since it's a collage, it already has the look of I stuffed a bunch of things in this envelope. So I'm going to set this to one side, and then I'm going to take the one that's left, and I'm going to put it at the back of my stack. So what I do once I've used a sheet once is I just move it to the back of my stack, and that way I'm kind of moving, you know, equally, using equally from all the designs instead of reusing the same ones over and over again. This is another one I think that would make a great liner. So I'm going to set this one to the side, and I'm going to push this one to the back. And then this one I think would be cute as well. I'm going to set this to the side, and if we need it, we can come back because this is cuter. So we're at 3 and we need 6 to 12. We need 6 to 12. 6 if we're going to repeat them, and 12. This one I'm going to set aside. This one I'm going to set aside. I'm looking for scenes. This one I'm going to set aside. I can always come back to all over patterns. This one, of course, is a scene, so it is going to go in the stack. And then this is going to go to the back. And this I'm going to set aside. Almost dropped it. This one's going to go to the back. Going to pass over this one. Going to pass over this one. This one I'm going to set aside. Set one to the side, push one to the back. Yeah, I'll put this one in the stack. If we don't use it, we don't use it. This one is good for the stack. This one is, I'll set it over there. I don't think we'll use it, but this one is great. Let's use it. All right. This one's a no. No. Yes. No. No. And these are all the individual sheets here now. So let's see how many we have in this stack, and if it's more than 6, then we can just go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's like 10, so let's just go for it. All right. I'm not going to keep these little guys anymore because if I'm going to do the big buttons, they'll be too small. So I'm going to put them in the recycling to get them out of my way, and I'm just going to keep the large pieces. Okay. All right, so it's a pretty good start so far. Now let's get some of this stuff out of my way. And I'm going to drink some water. My throat's dry. I'm going to actually mute you for a second. Alrighty. All right, so how's everyone doing? Jumping right in. Hi to all of you. All right, so this one's super easy. I'll just cut it to 8 5/8, and then I'll cut that in half, and I'll have 2. So I'm going to tell you how I'm going to cut each of them. That way, if you want to follow along exactly, you can follow along exactly. All right, so that gives me these 2 and then a scrap. So we need to start a scrap bag. So let me get a bag for the scraps. Little scrippity scrap bag. All right, here we go. All right, we've got our first scrap. And actually, let me get a small scrap bag because we're going to need it eventually. Might as well just get prepared now. Okie dokie. Okay, so for this one, we have to decide if we want it to be like lots of poinsettia, not a lot of, little sparkles, or if we want it to be little poinsettia, lots of sparkles. And so one thing that we can do is we can take the scrap we cut off, because we know it's the size that we're going to cut off, and we can hold it up and see what we like better. And I actually think this is plenty of sparkle, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this side off. So I'm going to cut it at 8 5/8 here and then cut it in half. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to just rotate this one, I think, so that there's not one that's kind of upside down, like hanging down from the top. But, you know, we'll see when we get to the end. All right, this one I'm going to cut off this side. So I'm going to cut it at 8 5/8 here and then cut it in half. All right, so we have 6 already. You know, there are some that we can kind of so the ones that I felt kind of meh about, let's go through and pull them out. So I didn't love that one, didn't love this one. So we'll go ahead and take those 2 out. And we'll put them back in later. I'm going to push this one to the back. Just think about the ones. I'm going to push this one to the back. I'm going to pick the 3 I like the best. This one for sure. This one's going to be tricky. This one I'm going to have to cut. I'm going to cut it in half first and then 8 5/8, 8 5/8. So let me go do that. All right, so that's 8. We need 12. This is the kind of thing that I would put in my small bag. Of scraps. All right, so 2 more. I'm gonna do these 2. So I'm gonna put these ones back. All right, so this one I'm going to cut here and then in half. And this one, it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to cut it here because I like that reindeer, and then we'll cut it there. And great. All right. Now, I'm going to ink half of them in red and stick them in the red pockets, and I'm going to ink half of them in brown and stick them in the brown pockets. So I need to get out my inks. So I'm going to use Festive Berries as my red, and I'm going to use Gathered Twigs as my brown. So I think that's the way to go. All right, Festive Berries is under spun sugar. How's everyone doing? How's your Thursday? You having a good time? Having a great afternoon? Oh, I am in a like phantom chat. So, because I gotta switch chats. So I thought maybe my chat was broken. And then I refreshed the page and there was tons of chatting. So let's try that again. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, so now that we've chosen all the paper, I've got my Festive Berries. Let me get out my gathered twigs. Gathered twigs is under frayed burlap. No, it's on top of frayed burlap. Well, it's supposed to be under frayed burlap, but it was on top of it. Look, organization is fluid, you know. Okay, so let's see. Let's say hi to everybody. All right, so hello to Candy. How are you? I'm running out of square ones. I'm gonna have to get rid of chipped sapphire. I don't really need it anymore though, so let's just peel it off. And hello to Lois. Lois. All right, so let me just put chipped sapphire away here. Chipped sapphire goes under weathered wood. Okay. Well, it's the only one missing out of this box. Hello to Deb and Melanie. Brenda, hello. How are you? Hi, Bev. Hi, Carol Joan. Vicky's here, and so is Kathryn and Gretchen. Gretchen says she's at a quilting retreat, but she wanted to check in. Ellen says hello. Hello, Ellen. Hello, Priya. Mary is here. Good afternoon. Crystal, hi. Melanie, how are you? I think that might have been a double hi, but you know what? You can say hi to people more than once. Fran, how's it going? Barbara Jean, good morning. Lori, howdy. Lori, hello. How are you? Candy and Donna, hi. Nancy, I'm sorry you're tired. All right. Oh, Judy is here, but she's eating. Okay, so, wow, I thought of an announcement when I saw Barbara Jean's name. Oh, yes. Okay. Barbara Jean said she was going to do SVGs for this project, but due to the limitations of the cutting machines in terms of how big the cutting area is versus how big the pieces are, it's my understanding that the envelope won't fit in within a cutting machine's limitations, even though it is, it is not bigger than 12 by 12, but the cutting machines don't really cut 12 by 12. They cut like 11 3/4 by 11 3/4 or something. So there won't be SVGs for this project, but it's an easy project. You can do it. You can do it. I have complete and total faith in all of you. So Barbara Jean tried, but the limitations of the machine did not, the limitations of the machines that just make it not worth doing. You'd have to do it in multiple pieces and then piece them together. And by that point, it's just quicker to just do it by hand. So it's all good. It's all good. No worries. All right, we've got Festive Berries. Let's get gathered twigs. Trying to keep the ink off my fingertips. All right. So now we're gonna put tape on 3 sides. We're gonna put tape on whatever I deem to be the top, and then the 2 short sides. We don't need tape on the bottom because this is going inside the pouch. This is 8 5/8 by 6. And alrighty. So that's that. Now another reminder that I have for y'all is that next week is book club week. So we will be discussing Lock Every Door. We will be discussing spoilers. So if you don't want to hear spoilers for Lock Every Door, then, you know, read it before next week by Riley Sager. That's this month's book club. And then, you know, we'll, over the weekend, that following weekend, we'll vote on the July book. And the July book you'll have the choice of one of 3 books that are all inspired by another work of literature. So, and those books will be The Art of Fielding, which is a book about baseball inspired by Moby Dick. Aisha at Last, which is a book about, I think, academia and class in Boston and immigration as well, inspired by Howard Zinn. And then Jane Steele, which is a book about a serial killer inspired by the book Jane Eyre, and in which, instead of keeping a stiff upper lip, I think Jane just kills everyone who annoys her. So I think it's supposed to be a little funny, tongue-in-cheek adaptation for sure. So those are the 3 books you'll be voting on. Now, I have mentioned in the past, let's move up book club to the 4th Thursday. Well, so not the last Thursday, so that months that have 5 Thursdays, that there's not an extra week. I mean, the extra week still is going to go somewhere because it's going to just be at the front of the next month. You know what I mean? Unless you want to delay the voting a week on those months, which is fine. We can delay the voting a week on the months, on those months where you're always voting on the last weekend of the month. So what we're going to do, but in June, it's not in August. I think August has got, I believe, a normal, we would be discussing it on the 4th Thursday. So, and then let's see, what else have we got? There had been some discussion of where I had encouraged you, instead of, you know, buying books, or better than getting like Audible or Scribd or something like that, that you check out books digitally from your local library, because a lot of libraries have digital services. And then I said, if your library doesn't, there are other libraries in the country that offer cards to people who are not in that district. I have mentioned a few, and I went and I looked up the collection of the 3 I mentioned the most, which are the Fairfax County Library, the Brooklyn Public Library, and the Orange County Library. And now I actually can tell you which one is the best one. And it's not Fairfax County Library. So, excuse me. Previously, I'd been recommending Fairfax County Library because they only charge $27 a year. There's a reason. They have one of the worst collections in the entire nation of digital items. Their only library system that had a worse one was one that was Prince William County, because I was like, is this a Fairfax thing or is this a Virginia thing? Like, what on earth? So Mary's doing a victory lap because she was like, Fairfax Library is terrible. And I was like, how can that be? Fairfax County is one of the richest counties in the country. How can they have a bad library system? I don't know the answer to that question, but I can tell you they do. So, so they do. They absolutely do. So yeah, no, it's terrible. It's terrible. I mean, my library system charges $100 for their out of year card, but my library system offers they have 140,000 Kindle books in their collection. And Fairfax County Library has 25,000. So even going with my library at $100 a year would be a better deal than paying the 27,000 or paying the $27 for Fairfax County. So don't get Fairfax counties. And if you already did, I'm sorry, because it's bad. It's bad. The one that's the best bang for your buck, which is like the most books for the least amount of money, where you're paying the least amount of money per book, that one is Brooklyn. So the best one, because Brooklyn only has 5,000 fewer books than my library system, which, by the way, no library system had more books than my library system. So I didn't know my library system was going to be a leader in this area, but guess what, it is. But like, for example, Orange County has 5,000 fewer books in their collection, but they charge $150 a year. Whereas my library, you know, you get 5,000 you get 5,000 more books for $50 less. But the Brooklyn Library has very close to the same amount. I think there's only, it's only a few thousand. I don't think it's even 10,000 difference in collection size between my library system and their library system. And it's $50 instead of $100. So the best bang for your buck is Brooklyn's library. So yeah, Fairfax is super bad. I mean, I don't know why it is. Mary said she thought her library was trash, but I didn't know how bad it was. But yeah, it's super terrible. So don't get that one. If you want to get one, like if instead of paying the California, Orange County, California. I know. I know why I should always believe Mary from now on. So Orange County, California, they have like 5,000 more books than my area, which is Tampa. I'm in Florida, but it's like $50 more. So, like I said, the best bang for your buck is Brooklyn, because I wrote these numbers down. So I'll just tell you real quick. Oh, my phone won't open. It's mad at me. Okay, let me just read it so I stop being confused. But because I wrote the numbers down. But okay, here we go. All right, so Fairfax County charges $27,000 a year, and they have 25,000 Kindle books in their collection. Orange County charges $150 a year, and they have almost 94,000 books in their collection. Brooklyn Library charges $50 a year, and they have 134,000 books in their collection. And then Hillsborough, that's where I live, they charge $100 a year, and they have 139,000. So you can see that there's only a 5,000 book difference in collection size between my county and Brooklyn, but Brooklyn, it's half the price. So the best bang for your buck is the Brooklyn Library. It's $27 a year it's $27 a year at Fairfax for 25,000 books. So yeah, anyways, so yes, Mary was absolutely right. That library system is really bad. It has no reason to be really bad. I don't understand what's happening. But it is. So Renee thinks Fairfax prioritizes parks over libraries. All right. I also know Fairfax County puts a lot of money into schools. So a lot of the Fairfax County money does go into schools, and they do have some really good schools. So that's just the choice that they're making. It's the Brooklyn Library specifically, the Brooklyn Public Library. Yeah, not the New York Public Library System, like the whole big one, but the Brooklyn one. And on the Kindle Reddit, the Brooklyn one is the one people like the best and recommend the most out of all the library systems in the country. And I think it probably is because it does have such good value for money. So, for $50, you're getting more. You're getting a ton of books, and it may not be the most books, but to get just a few more books, you're going to have to pay like twice as much money at a lot of other library systems. And when I was doing the more in-depth research on this, $100 was kind of the most common price I saw for these out-of-state cards. So I do think that Brooklyn's kind of an anomaly in terms of like collection size and annual cost. So, but yeah, so I will no longer mention the Fairfax County Library. It does seem to me that the one to get is the Brooklyn Library. Specifically Brooklyn. Not just any of the boroughs, specifically Brooklyn. So yeah, that was my little adventure in researching library collections over the weekend. I have a very exciting life, as you can see. And what started it is I was like, well, if I'm going to be running my mouth about the Fairfax County Library all the time, I should subscribe to it. So I did. And then I got in there and I was like, what on earth? They have no books. So that sent me down a rabbit hole of looking for books. So there we go. So now I have the answer, and the answer is the Brooklyn Library. But the Brooklyn Library, if you compare it to Audible, I don't know what Audible is. Let's say it's $10 a month. Even if it's $10 a month, it's still twice the price of the Brooklyn Library. And I don't think it is $10 a month. And the difference is, you're supporting a library, which is nice. They probably use revenue from these out-of-state cards to support some of their library programs that cost money but don't bring money in. So... all right, so we've got everybody taped, and now I'm going to burnish. Book is the next week. So ink the edges. Audible's $15 a month. So there you go. So Audible's 3 times the price. 3 times the price. All right, so now we're gonna slide on in, maybe. And I'm gonna try to, be straight at the top as much as I can, which was, not very straight. It is kind of crooked. On Audible, you don't have to wait for books at the like you do at the library, and I believe that you own the 2 books, or that you get. You own the 12. You get 12. You get 12 books that I think are yours forever, and then you get 12 books that are part of Amazon's collection that you can read while you have Audible, I think. I don't think those ones you own, but I think that, so you get 24 books a year, and with no waiting. So, whereas like with Scribd, for example, I think with Scribd, you're only renting the books. So like if, like the library is a better deal than Scribd, since you're not keeping anything anyway. I don't think it's me. I think this is the paper. Because on the bottom it's straight, but it's not straight on the top. Maybe I cut crooked on one of my things is crooked. Well, it's not having tape on the sides that's causing me problems. It's it's the paper or my cutting job. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so that it's straight on the top. And then the bottom, because I think it's more noticeable on the top than it is on the bottom. All right, we're off to a great start. We're off to a great start. But yeah, paper is not always perfectly straight. So when I cut it, you know, even if my piece was a perfect rectangle, because paper is not always perfectly straight, just because there's variances in printing processes. The only side I think I need to ink is the top. So we're only going to ink the tops from now on. But that's cute. Look at that. Look at that. All right, let's keep going. Candy says, now that you have me hooked on books, what good is 24 books a year? Yeah, it's, and I think in Canada, there are some, probably out of province or out of city library cards as well, would be my guess, that maybe larger library systems like the Brooklyn Library you can buy into if your local library is a problem with getting the stuff that you want. But you know, for me, the only thing that it really stresses me out to not be able to get the books is book club, because with all other stuff, if there's something that I want to read and there's a wait, I just put it on hold and then I go read something off my no hold list. So, you know, I don't really worry about it too much. It's only with book club where I'm really like have to read a specific book in a specific month that it's gonna be an issue, you know. Again, I'm just getting it straight with the top. Oh, this one's straight, so. Oh, the Libby accounts are province-wide. Well, that's nice. That's really nice. So, lucky. Okay, let's keep going. This one I want to put in the brown one, so I'm going to put this one in the red one. Honestly, this is kind of boring. Maybe I should go back to one of those other papers that I got rid of. Like, we can do the Nutcracker instead. It's not like I need to save the papers or scrimp on the papers, because this is really the only big piece of paper in the whole project. Everything else is strips. Yeah. All right, that's cuter. Look at that. But anyways, so yeah, so there you go. So those are some options. But yeah, if you want to own your books when you're done with them, your ebooks or your audio books, then really Audible and buying stuff from the Kindle store those are your options. But if you don't care, then, you know, you can look into out-of-state library cards, because they're going to be cheaper, specifically the Brooklyn one, now that we know. Yeah, it really just depends on the kind of reader you are. If you're the kind of reader that likes to reread things, read them more than once, then, you know, Audible is going to make more sense. But if you just want to read a bunch of different things and you're not so worried about whether or not you can reread them, then the library is, of course, a good option. Oh, cute. Oh my gosh. How cute are these going to be? How cute are these going to be? Yeah, that's good too. That's one area where the library is a real tough cookie, which is in new books. Because when a new book comes out, it's a long wait. It's a long wait. Like, I want to read Stephen Graham Jones's new book, but it's got a really long wait at my library. But that's okay. I have other stuff to read. Since I finished my 52 books challenge, I set myself the challenge of reading 7 books in 7 days. By the way, oh, that's nice with the brown. I don't recommend that. Or if you want to do that, pick your books smartly, because some of the books I picked are too long, way too long, and they are causing me problems. So I think I will fail this current challenge, but I am also not being graded on it. There are no reading police, so it's not a big deal if I fail. Do I use WhisperSync? I don't. Well, I mean, I use WhisperSync in that it remembers my pages across all Kindle devices for Kindle ebooks. But since I don't use Audible and I don't have any audiobooks, I don't use like the main thing I think WhisperSync was intended for, because I just listen to audiobooks in the Libby app. So what I do is I just, you know, if I get both of them, because I want to be able to flip back and forth between audio and regular, then I just note where I am in the audiobook. You know, I try to stop on chapters. That's one thing. And then I just, you know, I just jump to that point in the Kindle book. And that's how I keep track. Oh, Barbara Jean said this would make a cute group project. Send one Pouch-a-lope to each sibling, fill with pictures, and then send to grandparents. Cute. That's a great idea. These are going to be too cute to put stuff in. Well, the good thing is that once again, you know, we have a design where no paper is permanently covered. You know, no paper is permanently covered. You know, paper will be temporarily covered, but not, you'll always be able to pull the stuff out of the pocket and see the paper. Look how cute. Ah, all right, so this is another one where I'm going to just use something else. I could just use this piece. I think I'll do that. And I just want to see what color I put the other half of this in. I put the other half of this in a red, so I'm going to go ahead and put this one in a brown. Yeah, you absolutely could make these shakers as well instead of storing stuff in the front. You definitely could do that as well. Or you could make some of them shakers and some of them not. All right, so we're gonna stick this in a brown Pouch-a-lope. All right. These are too cute. Too cute. Did I have the perfect vacation? Well, I mean, I had a pretty good vacation considering the circumstances. And it was very restful and I was very relaxed at the end of it. So I'm definitely giving my vacation a thumbs up, but I don't know if I would say it was perfect exactly. It's not what I had planned for my 40th birthday, but you know, my 40th birthday could have been way worse. So I had fun. All right, this one I'm going to put it in both ways and see which way I like it better. Because I think I want it to go in the bottom corner. But, oh yeah, he's been back in DC for a while. Yeah, see, I don't like this because the poinsettia looks upside down to me. So we'll do it like this. Oh, I think I just scratched that with my nail. Oh well. Yeah, he was only here for about a week. So he's working again too at another DC restaurant, not a different one, not the same one that opened up. Okay, down to the last two. This has been going pretty quickly. Oh no, Monica. Okay, Monica's family forgot her 30th birthday. How naughty of them. Alrighty, last one. All right, let's take a look. All right, so we need to mix them up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one from the top of the red side and one from the bottom of the brown side. All right, we've got our stack. Okay, so they're all lined. So in the next video, I'm going to do a recording break here. And then in the next video, what we'll be doing is we will be talking about how to, well, you know what? Let's just keep going with, what are we at? We're at an hour. Let's just keep going with these fronts. So the next idea I have for the fronts is to do photo mats as the insert, just so that there's something in them. So for now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and I'm going to put the mats on either side of these. And do you want to put, I'll let you guys vote. I'll let you guys vote. Do you want the cardstock color of the insert? The inserts are just 6.5 by 4.5. Photo mats on both sides. Do you want the color to match the frame or to be the opposite color from the frame? So like red with red or red with brown. So if you want to keep the color to match the color of the mat to match the color of the frame, then what we type a 1. And if you want the color of the mat to be a different color to the frame, type a 2. So I'll let you vote on that. So matching would mean that red pouches have red. All right. And not matching would mean that brown pouches have red. So this is 1. This is 2. This is 1. This is 2. All right. So I'm only doing 1 per pouch for now, just is something in the pouch so that the point of the pouch is clear. Because what I really imagine these pouches is that you would put greeting cards in them. You would put like those photo cards you get in them, or like, you know, newsletters, all the stuff you get in the mail at Christmas time from friends and family. That kind of stuff is kind of what I have imagined for the pouches. So it really can be, you know, that was kind of the idea, was to keep them mostly empty so that you can put Christmas stuff in them. Or if you wanted to do this as like a December daily, you know, you would put your receipts and stuff in them. However, you know, whatever you're doing with the album, you know, if you're doing it as a school book, maybe put arts, report cards, you know, things of that nature. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. That's the idea. So I'm gonna leave them fairly empty, but I'm probably also gonna put some cute little things from the collections in them, so that they will, you know, like maybe some of those index cards or folders or things, just so there's some fun inserts in it. And already I think I've made 36 landscape photo mats and 24 portrait photo mats. And these are kind of that's how many you need to have one photo on either side of this in the pouch, plus the 3 photos that are going inside the envelope. So that's already 36 plus 24 is 60, right? So 60 photos already, just with one back-to-back insert. So you can really get a lot of photos in this project. And then looking at the voting, it looks like number 2 is the winner, which is not matching. Good thing I already printed and taped all of these, huh? Think about if I had to be doing 24 of these just to do the inserts. I'd still be stamping. But I used our digital stamp, which is down below in the video description, to print the photo mats. And I am running out of white photo mats, so I had to order new, and they arrived. So it's taken me, last time I ordered them, I think, was 2016. So I believe it took me 4 years to use 1,000 white photo mats. I think it took me 4 years. So I use about 250 white photo mats a year. 250 white photo mats a year. No, did the cats help me? No, the cats did not help me. What I did was I was listening to an audiobook as part of my I listened to an audiobook while I stood at the printer and fed the cards into it. And then I listened to the audiobook while I taped all the backs of the cards and cut them all out. So it wasn't so bad. You know, that's what whenever I tell you something's like a assembly line type of deal, that's kind of what I envision, is that you'll be listening to a book or watching a TV show or something like that. Not that you'll just be sitting there only crafting and being really, really bored because if you've just taped 60 photo mats. So. All right, got the red ones done. Now we're going to do the brown ones. And then we will finish decorating the outside by putting 1/4-inch strips of paper here on the edges. And then the front of the pouches will be essentially constructed, decorated, but not embellished or fancified. Monica, you need to start a biker stamping class or something. Teach them all how to do it. I watched this. There was this documentary on scrapbooking. I don't know how easy it would be to find now. I think it was called Scrapped, but it was about this guy who he was, I think a biker, a hunter, you know, really outdoorsy, and he got into crafting. I don't remember why, but he had like kind of an emotional reason for getting into it, but I don't remember what it was. But he got into scrapbooking, and he, you know, he would do stuff like, I mean, he would shoot some of his pages, you know, things like that, use them as target practice, put stuff, holes in them and stuff. It was just it's just such a funny thing. But to see this guy who's like this kind of stereotypical Harley guy, you know, trying to talk to the founder of Creative Memories about scrapbooking for a documentary he's making, was really funny. We need some kind of catchy name for the biker stamping class. Inks and drinks. I don't know if you can get drinks. Probably be annoying to get like those party event liquor licenses that are good for 24 hours once a week. Yeah, paper tattoos. BYOB, there you go. Drink and draw, don't drink and drive. All right, we're getting there. We're almost there. We're almost there. So these are 4 1/4 inch by 6 1/4 inch photo mats that I'm putting on 4 1/2 inch by 6 1/2 inch cardstock. And I used the paper that I cut out of the inserts, or the pouches rather, to make these photo mats. So I didn't do like the 5x7 pinwheel or anything. Deals for wheels. All right, last one. And then we'll go ahead and put all of these in there, and then we'll decorate the edges. Oh my gosh. Look how quickly this project is coming together. Becoming a book. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put these to the side. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put little paper, you know, just little tiny 1/4 inch, nothing extreme, strips on the edges here. So what I want to do, hopefully, is use the scraps from like the back sides of the scraps. So that would be nice if we could do that. I'm just gonna put these papers back where they belong. Since I separated them from their other halves. All right. So I'm going to set that to the side, and we're going to try and use these pieces to do our decorating. I'm going to try and peel this tape. I've got tape on the back of these two. So I'm going to see if putting undo right on the edge will help me here. Then I can let them go dry elsewhere. And then, because the good thing is that all these pieces are going to be the right width or the right height. So they can see, because they'll fit on the sides, you know, because they are the same size as the mat. All right. Okay, so I'm going to set these aside to dry somewhere. And then we're going to be dealing with these. So I'm going to be using these little guys for the sides. I don't have that many, and actually I probably won't be able to use these too much because I really don't have much in the way of designs with them, but I'll lay them out here so I can see. but I can use these as well. All right, so some of them can get used on the top, like these two. These ones can get used on the top as well because they gotta go straight across. I'm gonna have to cut new paper. I'm not gonna be able to do this entirely out of scraps. Do I have all my scraps? Is this all the paper I've cut so far? It is. I was too efficient with my paper and now I don't have enough scraps. We're just gonna have to cut into new sheets. Because the only one I really love is this one. I guess this one, I was too efficient. I could use this one, but it's really the only, it's this one and then this one for this one too. But this one, you know, it's too big because once it's only like a 1/4 inch, you're not going to see much of the pattern. Same with this one. See how you'll only see like a 1/4 inch of the letters. Although this one is okay. But really we're just going to be looking for, we need to go through now and find patterns that would look good small. So we've got to go through the paper collection again with a different look in our eye and look for patterns that would look good small. All right. So let's go through the stack and find tiny patterns now. We're looking for tiny patterns. Like these little trees. We could probably make these little trees work. We could make this stripe work. I mean, we could make this musical note work in a pinch if we had to. We could make these stars work. We could make this sort of generic pine cone thing work. I don't like it. I'm not going to do it. I like it. I just don't like it for this. This green could work. This could definitely work. This newspaper could work. This is not going to work. This stripe could work. Not going to work. Not going to work. This stripe could work. So could the star on the back. And then we're into, these are the single sheeters. So we'll start here. I'm sure that's plenty to work with. And we'll go from there. All right. Okay, so what we're looking for is something that's going to look good with this pattern. And I like the stripe. Maybe for the top and bottom. And then for the sides, I need something a little like, there we go. Okay. All right, so I gotta remind myself what this measurement is here, because I don't know. I don't remember. The opening, 5.5. Oh, how nice of me to make it easy on myself. Okay, so for the sides, these pieces will be 1/4 by 5.5. And on the top, these ones are 1/4 by 8 5/8. These, not these ones. All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna cut a 1/4 inch off these. And I'm gonna cut 4 of them just so I can use it twice if I want to. All right. And then what did I decide? This one. All right, so this one I'm gonna cut down the side, and again I'm gonna cut 4 1/4 inch pieces. All right. And I'm gonna get my Fiskars trimmer because I'm gonna need it. Okay, so from the musical note piece, I'm gonna cut 2 pieces that are 5 1/2. And then I'm going to very lightly ink them with the Festive Berries, and then glue them into place. All right. Yeah, we're going to put that right there. I know, so much for not inking my fingers. Hi. How are ya? You coming to say hi? You coming to say hi? All right. And then we're going to put the stripes at the top and the bottom, like so. And I'm just wondering if we should leave them plain. What do you think? Is it too much? I mean, look at that compared to this. I think that the paper is not adding anything. All right, let's vote. So this is one that's busy, or not busy. Yeah, I think we're just taking away from the insides. So I think I'm just gonna try and pull this up. Of course, I used liquid glue. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna be able to get these off. I'm gonna have to remake one of the envelopes, I think. Yeah, okay. I can't get them off. That's fine, that's fine. I'm not going to try to strip on the cocoa. I mean, I can hold a strip up to it, but I'm not going to like glue a strip to it because I don't want to remake two of them. Yeah, it's not my favorite. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to leave the fronts plain. All right, so we have learned that we don't need pattern paper, 1/4 inch pattern paper strips on the fronts, but I do need to remake one of them. I do need to remake one of them. That's okay. That's all right. That's all right. Yeah, you could try plain. I would think that the way to do it would probably, if you were going to do plain, would be maybe to do green. On all of them. That way you get some green in the book. Or to do cocoa on the red and red on the cocoa. But again, I think what that is going to do is just make it... I think you're just adding busyness, and I think it's not so much the design itself, it's the it's because we used such fancy papers. Ooh, or gold, like a glitter. Yeah, silver and gold. That might be fun to add a glitter paper. Yeah, you could add something that might read as plain. But I don't, yeah, I have to remake this. How annoying. Well, I can salvage the back. I just have to remake the pouch. I can keep the envelope. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put undo here so that I can peel the pouch off. And that way I only have to remake the pouch. Do I have any glitter paper? Yeah, something solid. Okay. So we need to save our pattern paper. I'm just gonna if you did that, the question was, could you just flip it over if the tape comes off clean? The acetate would then be on the outside. That would be the big problem with that. and you can see the adhesive. So you would have to cover the acetate's adhesive. All right, so I'm going to set this, which you could probably do, but it would also depend on how straight you did your acetate in the first place. So, okay. Anywhere where I have like paper shreds kind of sticking up, I'll peel them off. And I'm going to now set this aside to dry, and we are going to just quickly remake the thing. Okay. Luckily I have my measurements, so I'm gonna be able to do it. Okay, so let me go cut this and I'll be right back. Oops. All right. So we've got that. And now I need the scoreboard. And this one I'm just going to do a 1/2 inch all the way around, just so I can be fast, even though I know I told you not to do that. All right. Well, if you're going to take the acetate off and flip the acetate over, I don't think you're saving any time over just remaking it. But you could try that if you found yourself in the same predicament where you had to remake a pouch. Oh, do you mean reuse the acetate? Yes, of course. You can absolutely reuse the acetate. But okay, so on one of them the tape goes on the outside, and then on the rest of them the tape goes on the inside. Incorrect. On one of them the tape goes on the inside, and on the rest of them the tape goes on the outside. Just kidding. But this is not a problem that I think most of you will find yourselves facing, because, you know, I make the mistakes so that you don't have to. That's kind of the goal of this show, is so that, you know, I mess up and then you don't have to mess up. So now you know whether or not you like it with the pattern paper or if you like it plain, and you just will either put pattern paper on it or you won't. You know what I mean? So I don't think you'll have to deal with this. I think only I will have this problem, hopefully. Cut your corners by cutting straight through the X made by the intersection of the two score lines. All right. And then now is when we will put the acetate on. So, well, my acetate got bent when I was removing it, so I'm going to have to cut a new acetate. No big deal. I have plenty. Priya says, I still make mistakes, just new and different ones. Oh dear. That's not the goal. All right. So now I'm going to cut this to 6.5. Right? Right? Is that correct? Where's my sheet? Yeah, 6.5. No project can go down smoothly. That's true. I mean, I design these things, and I don't even get it right. So, you know. All right, I'm now gonna put tape around my window. Then peel this tape and put down the acetate so that it covers the tape. Nope, the acetate can't be 6.5. It's got to be slightly smaller than 6.5. I'm going to cut 1/8 of an inch off it. And Let's try again. All right. Great, perfect. Okay, and then this piece gets folded over. All right, so that's the top. Gail, it's for free. So it's my Christmas in July present to you. So it's all the videos are on YouTube, and all you have to do is watch and take notes, and you can totally make it with what's on YouTube. You don't need to purchase anything. You do not. It's a Christmas present. All right. So now we're going to stick it down. This is the top. So we're going to stick this side to this side. But I'm glad you think it's cute. Thank you very much. Okay. Then once I've done that centerpiece, or not the bottom, once I've stuck the bottom down, then I can stick down the sides. All right. And now I just have to reline it. And it's like none of this ever happened. Mistakes who? Mistakes what? There's no mistakes. I've never mistaked. All right. That's right. There's no crying and crafting. Past Kathryn is very familiar with mistakes. It's true. It's very true. I have never made a mistake. But past Kathryn, I mean, we all know the situation there. We all know. I used 1/2 inch this time around just because I'm, you know, sticking over old adhesive. So I just want to have a little bit more adhesive than I had last time. All right. And then burnish those edges. All right. It's like it never happened. Past Renee is the worst. I know. These past versions of ourselves. I read a book where someone is running into alternate versions of himself. It's a science fiction book. And so he numbers them. So it's Jason, he's Jason, and then there's Jason 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, you know. Yeah, exactly. Mistake? What mistake? There was no mistakes. There was no mistakes. All right, so I'm gonna stick my inserts in. You guys decided on alternating, right? So let's insert up, and then So we're going to get an idea of how these are going to look. But look, they just go right in. Imagine how fun these are going to look with your Christmas cards that you receive, with your family photos, with photos of your friends' families. Recipes, your favorite holiday recipes. You could put someone's recipe and then clip a photo of them to the recipe and stick them in here. Of course, you don't have to use this for the holidays at all. You could do school, we've talked about. If you went on a cruise, we've talked about, you could do a different port, or if you went on a vacation with a number, like a tour, you could do all the different stops on your itinerary. For the envelope closures, we're going to do the big button and string from Catch a Tag Remastered, the school version. So let me find that so I can show you. This guy, this giant button and string closure, we're going to recreate it. I think that'll look cute, don't you? Alternatively, we could just do a pressure fit closure where we stuck something to hold the flap down. Do you want to think about that? Do you want to vote? Do you want to vote on the closure? All right, let's do a closure vote. And then when we come back in the next video / tonight's class, we'll do the closure. That's where we'll start. Because we'll do the decorating for the backs. We'll start with the closure. So closure option number 1 would be a button and string closure of some kind, a giant one or a normal sized one or whatever. So we'll just say a button and string closure. Closure type number 2 is, of course, we could do a magnet. So let's say 2 is a magnet, 1 is button and string, 2 is magnet, in which case it would be invisible. And then 3 is we could do like a seal, basically, where we would just take an embellishment from the collection or a card from the collection, and we would adhere it only to the bottom so that you were tucking the envelope down into it and it was holding the envelope shut. So no magnet, but a pressure fit closure. It would be held shut by pressure. Okay, so button and string, type of 1, magnet, invisible, type of 2, and then for a pressure fit closure, type of 3. And I'll let you vote for a bit. And of course, you know, if you would prefer a magnet, you can just do a magnet on yours. You know how to do magnets by now, hopefully. So you can always do a magnet on yours. You know, if you have the archives, you could look up the construction of this button and string closure. If it doesn't win, if you can go to this and see how it's done and adapt it to fit on your envelope. And then 3, if 3 doesn't win, 3 is super simple. Everyone know how to do that. You just take your embellishment and you only put tape on half of it, and that's the half that sticks to the bottom. And then you can put the top behind it. Easy peasy. So they're all easy to do if the one you want doesn't get chosen. It's really close between 1 and 3. Thank you, Gail. Yeah, this one is a Christmas in July present from me to you. So it's on the YouTube channel with all the measurements and everything. All you have to do is take notes. So you can, everything you need to recreate it is on YouTube for sure. It just go into, if you go on my channel and you go into playlists, and there's a playlist for 2020 Christmas in July Pouch-a-lope. That's what this is, the Pouch-a-lope. Okay, so it's essentially a tie between 1 and 3. It's 1 if I count Renee's vote as a 1 and Melanie's vote as a 3. 1 wins. But if I count Renee's vote as a 3, then it's a tie. So I think what I'm going to do, Irene asks, why didn't I glue the printed paper in the envelope? Why did I put the pattern paper on last is what she wants to know. And the reason why, when I have to work inside the pouch, and that's annoying. The reason why I did the order that I did was I wanted the acetate on the pouch before I glued the pouch to the piece, because I wanted the acetate underneath this piece that I folded over, so that 2 things: paper does not get stuck on the acetate. Anything that I stick in this pouch will not get stuck on the acetate. The corners of the acetate are covered. That's reason number one. And then reason number 2 is that reinforces the top and makes it thicker so that it's just sturdier and we don't have to worry as much about tearing. And then I glued the pouch to the envelope, and then I stuck the pattern paper. And the reason I did it in that order, instead of sticking the pattern paper to the envelope and then gluing the pouch on top, is so the pattern paper would cover the joints of the pouch. So the pattern paper covers where the pouch sticks to the envelope, so it's all just one clean sheet on the inside. And again, that means that anything that I put in here will go smoothly. Okay, anything I put in here will go smoothly. So there you go. So Renee committed to 1, and it would have won then, except that Monica typed a 3 and now it's tied again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip a coin, and we're going to do heads. It's a giant button and string closure. And tails, it's a it's pressure fit. It's the pressure fit. You know, envelope flap is tucked behind an embellishment. Hey Google, flip a coin. Heads. All right. So that is the button and string. That's the button and string. Yeah, I mean, Melanie says we've seen 1 and 2 before. 3 is different. Yeah, I don't use 3 very much. Why not do them half and half? Why are you trying to complicate my life, Barbara Jean? She's like, it's heads. Thanks, Google. She's like, you dummy. You dummy. You're trying to complicate my life? 3 is much easier for non-crafters to enjoy. Do you all want to just change your votes now and vote 3? Is that what you are doing? Monica's just voting again for 3. Everyone's voting for 3 over and over again. There are very strong feelings about this. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize this was going to be so dramatic. Okay, look, I'm going to meditate on this in between shows. All right, I'm going to meditate on this in between shows, and who knows what we'll be doing when we come back. Who knows? It could be a total surprise. I could have come up with some other alternate closure that I didn't even give you guys a vote for. So that's the current situation. We have no idea what kind of closure it's going to have. I'm going to meditate on the closure, and I will know what the answer is when Google should have known better and picked tails. See, I'll tell you my theory for flipping a coin. It didn't work in this instance because I was trying to choose between your choices. But the way I see coin flips is that the coin reveals how you really feel about something. So if you're trying to choose between A and B and you flip a coin and the coin is A and you feel disappointed, then you know that in your deepest heart you wanted B. And so then you do B. You know what I mean? If it's A and you don't care, then you know that's what you really wanted. Joyce says she would personally do half with button and string and half with pressure closure. The only thing I know for sure is that we will be doing one type of closure. That's all. That's what I know for sure. Velcro it is. It will probably be Velcro. It'll probably be Velcro. So, all right. So when we come back tonight, we're going to start with the closure. We're going to talk about how you incorporate the closure into your decorating, because whether it's button and string or pressure fit or something else, the closure is part of your decorating. And so that's what's going to happen. So I'll be back at 9 p.m. Eastern USA time, which is New York, Miami, whatever, the East Coast. I'll be back then. And that's 5 hours and 7 minutes from now. So whatever time it is where you are now, that's 5 hours and 7 minutes. If you're watching on YouTube, you know, the next video will have the answer to this extremely, surprisingly contentious question. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. I will see you at 9 p.m. Eastern USA time or in the next video. Have a wonderful afternoon and a wonderful evening and a wonderful weekend. Bye now.